We will now be interviewing County Coroner candidates. The County Coroner candidates with us this evening include Laura Sundstrom, Elliot Basner, Sterling Albers, and Steve Ehrman. And here's an introductory statement from our candidates. Candidates, you have 1 minute. Let's start with Laura Sundstrom.
Hi, my name is Laura Sundstrom. I am running for County Coroner. I've been a resident of Campbell County for 9 years. I've been a deputy coroner for 2 years. And that'd be it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And Elliot Basner, could you give your 1 minute intro?
Thank you. And thank you for having me tonight. My name is Elliot Basner. I'm currently deputy coroner here in Campbell County. I've been working for Mr. Eckhoff in the coroner's office for over a year. I've got a bachelor's of science degree from Central Michigan University in interpersonal and public communication. I also have my EMT license, as well as have gone to the Wyoming Law Enforcement Academy. And I look forward to working with the people of Campbell County. My main focus is to be always available. Thank you.
Thank you. And on to Sterling Albers.
Good evening, and thanks for inviting me here. My name is Sterling Albers. I've been a resident of Campbell County for 44 years, moved here in 1969. Been in the public service for many years. Started out as a Campbell County volunteer firefighter and did 12 years of that. During that time frame, I became an EMT and continued my education with an EMT and became a paramedic in 2000. So I've had 18 years in EMS, 14 years of that of being a paramedic. I currently work as a part-time employee of the hospital for that 18 years, and also I work at Rawhide Mine as a plant technician. I'm running for this position. I thought it'd be an interesting position, and I'd like to continue my education career and serve the citizens of Campbell County in the long run. Thank you.
Thank you. And now, Steve Ehrman.
Hi, my name's Steve Ehrman. I'm a 34-year resident of Campbell County. I'm married to my wife, Dana. I have 3 boys, 2 are married, and they all live and work in Campbell County. I'm a retired sergeant with the Sheriff's Office. I have over 27 years of experience with the Sheriff's Office. I've most of my time in the Sheriff's Office was in patrol. I had 2 years of general investigations and 4 years of working for Northeast Wyoming Drug Enforcement Team. I have extensive experience in working with death and with the coroner's office through that time. The reason I'm running for coroner, the main reason is since retiring, I found that I miss working with the public. And I felt that this would be a good way to get back into working with the public, plus giving me a good challenge. I thank you for your time, and I thank the League of Women Voters for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we'll go on to our first question. Each candidate has 1 minute to respond. Please explain the experience you would bring to the position of county coroner. And we will start this question with Elliot Basner.
Thank you. The experience that I can bring comes from several different areas. Working mine rescue at the mine. I also have worked with Mr. Eckhoff in the coroner's office for a year. I have extensive training with him. I know the office. I understand the paperwork. I know where everything is in the office. With that, I've also worked with our fire and rescue. I've worked with the ambulance crews in the emergency room. I'm well versed in the areas. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now move on to Sterling Albers, the same question.
Experience I'd like to bring is that I have the 18 years of EMS experience. 14 years of that is being a paramedic. I have worked with the fire department, sheriff's department, the police department on various occasions as far as EMS response calls. I've also been there when the person has been deceased and helped to help the family get the proper people involved with them to bring them the proper people to, take care of them and bring them comfort and stuff. I'm also a very open person who will use the resources that are available to me from both the coroner's office, the sheriff's department, law enforcement, and everything else to help out. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now move on to Steve Ehrman.
Thank you. As I said before, I've got over 27 years in law enforcement, a lot of that investigating death. Along with that, I've managed a county budget. I was in charge of the department's firearms program, which was rather large and extensive. I managed the budget for the firearms program. I managed the instructors for the program. I also was a shift supervisor for approximately 8 years. I managed a crew of 8 people. And through all that, gained plenty of knowledge and education. Also, to bring to the department, to the coroner's office, I've just recently started employment with the coroner's office so I can learn the procedures and how to do that job. And that's something I've taken on myself. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And lastly, we move to Laura Sundstrom. The same question, please.
Yes. Well, I've been a certified deputy coroner for the past 2 years. I was a deputy coroner here in Campbell County for about a year. During this time, I've taken numerous classes and I've got numerous certifications in determining cause and manner of death, such as crime scene investigation, evidence collection. I've learned a variety of investigative techniques regarding blood spatter, firearm trajectory, results of blunt force trauma, and as well as working with the families.
Thank you. We'll now move on to the individual questions, and our next question will be for Sterling Albers. You have 1 minute to respond. In your questionnaire, you said you would like to have all autopsies performed in Campbell County. How do you propose to achieve this?
Well, with the offices that are available there at the coroner's office, the autopsy room and everything, I look forward to working with the physicians here in town to find one that would be willing to step in and do all the autopsies and stuff and be on on-call basis with the coroner's office to do that, and any additional resources out there to keep everything in town. I think it'd be more beneficial for the family, the deceased, and for everybody involved. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now give the other candidates 30 seconds for rebuttal. We will start with Steve Ehrman.
The autopsy room's set up and quite well equipped for doing autopsies locally. I think finding a doctor locally would be a good idea, but I'm not sure if that's possible. If to find one that would want to do that and be on call, it would be nice if it could be worked out, but I'm not sure if it's possible. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Laura Sundstrom, do you have a rebuttal for Sterling's response?
No, I don't.
Okay. Elliot Basner?
Point of clarification that it would have to be done by a board-certified pathologist. Currently, there is not one in the state of Wyoming. So that is why our autopsies are taken out of state, usually always to Rapid City. The reason we take them over, the coroner is already being paid versus paying the travel and expense of bringing the pathologist here.
Okay, thank you. The next question goes to Steve Ehrman, and you have 1 minute to respond. Steve, in your questionnaire, you mentioned going the extra step in customer service. What do you see is that extra step?
I think instead of using the telephone, a personal visit with the family would be that extra step. So often we use phones to take care of any kind of notifications or updates in a case. And I think the extra step in that instance would be actually going out and visiting, sitting down with the family and giving them the results of an investigation, face to face instead of by telephone. That's one example of going the extra step. Being open to people, being available to people, providing your phone number to people so that if they do have issues or problems or questions that they can call you and be free to take those calls. You can do what is just necessary and what is required, but looking to go one step further is to me is customer service.
Thank you very much. We will now give the other candidates 30 seconds for a rebuttal. We will start with Laura Sundstrom.
I too believe keeping the family fully informed, that is essential. Most people don't know what to expect during a death. So keeping them fully informed, going the extra mile to help with whatever needs that they have as well.
Okay, thank you. Elliot Basner?
I fully agree that family is important. We do try to always do a face-to-face next of kin notification. Myself, I would like to get to know some of the clergy in the area, have them available as a resource if needed to be able to bring with me, as well as having a person of the opposite gender, being that I'm male or female, maybe officer of the law, to be able to go with me. Some people react better to the same or opposite gender as a way to make that personal connection.
Okay, thank you. And Sterling Albers?
Well, I agree with both what Steve has to say and with Elliot, and I feel that also that what's out there is the counselors and stuff like that, bringing them in also if they needed help. Just having the extra resources and knowledge out there, with the hospitals, counseling services, and grief counselors and stuff like that. Them are also very good to have. So that's what is above and beyond.
Okay, thank you. The next question is for Laura Sundstrom, and you will have 1 minute to answer. Laura, in your questionnaire, you said you wanted to be active in education. How do you see this fitting into the job of coroner?
Educating our not only junior high through high school, but as well as upper level elementary school, such as the mock crime scenes we've done over in Crook County. We've done like accident scenes, and it's surreal. The kids respond to it, such as that. Just going into the schools, teaching the kids what we do as coroners. Most people don't know what we do as coroners. So telling them what we do step by step. But, I know with junior high, it might be a little iffy teaching the kids exactly what we do, but just some of the steps of what we do.
Okay, thank you. We will now give the other candidates 30 seconds for rebuttal. We will start with Elliot Basner.
I think the education that would need to come would be just within our agency and our ability to work with the other agencies. I don't see that the coroner's office would necessarily be needed in the schools, in my personal opinion. but I think it would be great to be able to get out into the community a little more and let the people of the community see who we are and get to know us a little better.
Thank you. And Sterling Albers.
Education is a very big thing. I think myself, even the deputy coroners, need continuing education above and beyond of what the state requires from the state, what the state law states. I am very in favor of educating everybody, continuing the education and answering questions. If there is a school district would like to get us involved with them, and I'd be more than happy to do some education classes with them. Thank you.
Yeah. And Steve Ehrman.
You know, through this campaign, a lot of people have asked me, what does a coroner actually do? You know, and so I found that a lot of the people in the public don't really know what the coroner does. So some education for the public would be good. I'm not so sure I want to put it in the elementary schools, this type of work. So I would a personal opinion is I don't think teaching and showing that what the coroner's office does in the schools is a good idea.
Okay, thank you. The next question is for Elliot Basner, and you will have 1 minute to respond. Elliot, in your questionnaire on improvements to the office, you mentioned timely responses. Is this not occurring now? If so, how do you propose to improve it?
It does occur now, and I definitely want to keep it that way. I reside here in town. I live a matter of blocks away from the sheriff's department where the coroner's office is located. It's very important to me that our law enforcement and ambulance crews and fire and rescue are not out there standing guard, essentially, for us and waiting for me to do my job. I feel that the people are looking for me to do my job, and I will do that for them. With that, I've talked to a few friends in the town of Wright. They've expressed some interest, and that's an avenue I'm looking to consider with the blessing of the commissioners in the future if we get more calls in that area, so that way we can have better service in that region as well of the county.
Thank you. We will now give the other candidates 30 seconds for rebuttal. We will start with Sterling Albers.
One more time on the question, please.
Okay, the original question was that in Elliot's questionnaire on improvements to the office, he mentioned timely responses. And his answer was that it is occurring now, and or the rest of his question was, is this not occurring now? And if so, how do you propose to improve it?
You know, as far as timely manner, I believe it is, you know, a very crucial thing, especially in the outlying areas and stuff. You know, like I said, being on EMS, I've got a 10-minute response time to the hospital, and I make that a priority. Having a place down in Wright is a good idea. I've talked to some people down there that are very interested and willing to staff a vehicle down there. So I'd be really looking into that. Thank you.
Thank you. And Steve Ehrman?
I can't rebuke that. On the other side of the fence, when I was working in law enforcement, the coroner's office was very prompt. You did not have to wait for them for very long. So back then it was happening, and the way I understand it is still a priority with the coroner's office. It needs to be a priority. Coroner needs to be prompt, and he needs to show up and free up those officers or EMS, whoever is on scene, because they're waiting for him to arrive to free them up. Thank you.
Thank you. And Laura Sundstrom?
And I agree. Areas like Wright, as well as Recluse and Weston, we do need, you know, that is crucial, is the response time, so those families don't have to wait.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. We will now move on to closing remarks. Candidates, you have up to 1 minute for closing remarks. or to address any topics that were not covered in the questioning period. And we will begin with Steve Ehrman.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity once again. The job is very tough. Everybody here has expressed an interest in doing the job. It's not a pleasant job at times, but it can be very rewarding. All of us are called to do it. The tough job is with the voter, to figure out who you want to be running your coroner's office. I have experience in law enforcement. I have experience in investigations. I have experience in teaching people. I've been a trainer for years in law enforcement. I have experience in managing budgets. I have experience in managing people. My personal reason to get into this is to help the public. I've worked over half my life in working and helping the public, and I want to continue that. And I'd appreciate your vote on August 19th. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to Laura Sundstrom. Your closing remarks.
And thank you for this opportunity. I have the experience and the education, and I truly have the dedication and passion for our community that is needed. I'm going to respect the dignity of people that I interact with. Because of this, I truly feel that I'm the best choice, and I appreciate your vote August 19th.
Thank you. And Elliot Basner?
Like I've said before, I currently work here in this office in Campbell County. I have been for a year because this has been a long time interest of mine. I do enjoy the work. It is hard work. It isn't for everybody. It's just real important to me that the voters have an opportunity to continue to use their vote the way it's intended, that the people of the county are able to vote for their county, that they aren't mandated by the state, that the office doesn't become a position of the state. So that's what we have for ourselves, is the ability to vote and to keep it local. And that's what I look forward to. So, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. And Sterling Albers.
Well, I'd like to thank everybody for showing up and giving me the opportunity to speak tonight. Once again, I am a longtime paramedic, 14 years, longtime resident of Campbell County. I feel that everybody has an opportunity to run for an office, should run. I'm finding this very interesting and enjoyable, running for this office, and meeting a lot of nice people and stuff like that. The community's been a great community out there, and I'd like to thank everybody for showing up, and thank you for your vote on August 19th. I'd like to thank Steve for being here, Elliot and Laura, and good luck to everybody here.
Thank you.